This morning, a New Jersey teacher now suspended. The backlash continues to grow in the case involving a third-grade teacher who had her students write get-well letters to Mumia Abu-Jamal, the man convicted of killing police officer Daniel Faulkner over 30 years ago. That teacher is suspended without pay, and the Orange Township School District will conduct an investigation next week. But it all started when this woman, Marilyn Zuniga, reportedly had her students write get well soon cards to the convicted cop killer. She even tweeted about it, writing, "My third graders wrote to Mumia to lift his spirits as he is ill. Hashtag free Mumia." Yesterday, the school superintendent released this statement announcing the teacher's suspension. The school's principal and district administrators vehemently deny any knowledge of the assignment, and preliminary inquiries find that no approval was ever sought, nor were parents notified. This story is all over social media. We've been getting tweets and comments on our Fox 29 Facebook page. Hundreds of thousands of you. John wrote, "Third graders should not be used as pawns to further someone's personal causes, especially one as controversial as this. She's entitled to her opinion, but third graders have no clue." Marnie said, "You know who could probably use some get well letters? Sick kids, wounded soldiers, people in nursing homes, not someone in prison." Tay goes on to say, coming to the teacher's defense, "I believe her heart was in a good place. I do. But she should have asked permission from each parent." Very spirited debate. We wanted to get into it and expand it. So joining us this morning by Skype, Kyle Olson of the Education Action Group, and in our newsroom, attorney Mike Cord. Kyle, I actually want to start with you because you seem to represent what is the majority view, at least if you look at all of social media. Why was this such an outrageous step in your opinion, and why should she be punished for this?
Well, the case itself is settled. I mean, Mumia was, first he was convicted, well, he was convicted and then he was sentenced to death. He was resentenced to life in prison. The case is settled, and yet there is this contingent of people like this teacher who want him freed. And so what I find so objectionable about this, and I think a lot of parents do as well, is you have this teacher bringing her political campaign, her personal campaign into the classroom and using these 8-year-old children to do her dirty work and write these letters so this convicted cop killer will feel better.
See, and I want to take a step back before we go down that path, because Mike, as an attorney, I'm not even going to debate the case right now. I want to talk about what happened with this teacher. Fired, suspended. Did what the teacher do from a legal standpoint and your interpretation, did she overstep? And you actually said you would defend her.
Not only would I defend her, Bill, I would defend her free of charge. Let me just explain the law, because we can get excited and hyped and emotional, but it's all about the facts and the law. What's the facts? What's the law? In cases like this, in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, anywhere else, you're talking about a teacher's First Amendment rights. That means free speech. You're talking about the teacher's Fifth Amendment right. That means due process in terms of what the administration can do. In addition, there's the 14th Amendment, which deals with equal protection. That pertains to not treating people in an arbitrary fashion. But more important, since we're talking about New Jersey, Bill, the Constitution of New Jersey specifically points out that students are to get a thorough and efficient education. If teachers can teach about the 12 presidents of the United States that owned slaves, if they could teach about and celebrate George Washington, who had 316, about Thomas Jefferson, who raped a child, then what are people talking about when they call Mumia this convicted cop? He's no more a convicted cop killer than the 152 Americans who were released from death row from 1973 to 2015.
Mike, I got to jump in because Kyle is sitting here shaking his head. And again, let's focus on this teacher. What are you shaking your head about?
Well, certainly she has a First Amendment right to believe what she wants to believe and say what she wants to say about the guilt or innocence of Mumia Abu-Jamal. What she doesn't have a right to do is to bring that into her classroom and have 8-year-olds who don't understand the legal process, they don't understand any of that, to use them to write get-well letters and then give those to her comrade, as she called her, who then delivered them to Mumia in prison. She doesn't have the right to do that.
Mike, I need a quick closing comment. They're 8. Does she have a right to do that?
She does have a right to do that. Here's a woman who's certified with advanced degrees, a master's degree, a volunteer after-school teacher, a bilingual bilingual educator, a wonderful woman who simply did what she's supposed to do. There's no teacher that has to go to every administrator and every parent in order to determine what they can do for that day's assignment. She did the right thing. We ought to support her.
Guys, we got to leave it there. But the debate continues on. I appreciate you both spending some time with us. This debate isn't going anywhere, so we will have you both back on to continue that discussion. And all of you, you can join in on the discussion as well, blowing up on social media.